Yeah, welcome to RACSINFOTECH. In this video, I'm going to share one information related to ASM disk removal from the user disk. Let me share this post. So in Oracle 19C Rack DBA, I'm going to delete one user disk from ASM disk group. So few of them asked the question how we are going to do it. So is there any prerequisites which we need to check? Is there any impact if you are going to delete a disk which is already used from the disk group? So after end of this session, you can able to understand how safely we can able to delete a disk from the disk group. Okay, what are the prerequisites which we need to check and precautions which we need to take care? Okay, guys, let us go ahead and then check it. If you want to delete or remove a disk from used ASM disk group in 19C, we can follow these steps. These steps are for demo purpose, guys. You can do in your test or POC instance. Once that is done, and then you can go with your non-prod and then prod as per your environment specific uh, procedures. Okay. Key points. If you are using ASM in normal redundancy or high redundancy, ASM will automatically rebalance the data across other disks. Whenever you are adding a disk or deleting the disk, the redundancy part will come into the picture. So that is for the redundancy which you are using. So in my case, I'm using external redundancy in this lab. So I'm going to take care of it. If the disk group is external redundancy, make sure there is enough free space. Even here also, you need to check sufficient space is there or not. If you don't have a sufficient space and you're going to delete a disk from the disk group, you will get an error, obviously. If you want to do it unforcefully, that is data loss. So be careful when you're going to do. You should have enough free space in your disk group from which disk group you are going to delete a disk. Suppose I'm going to take an example. I'm taking one of the disk group from ASM is my data disk group. Okay. In my data disk group, I have 4 disks. This is external redundancy disk group. I'm not using normal redundancy. So if I want to, each disk is having 1 GB, 1 GB, 1 GB, 1 GB size. Total is my disk group size is 4 GB, right? As of now, my out of 4 GB, I have used only 1 GB. 3 GB free space is there. I don't want this 3 GB. It's been like I'm not going to use much, but I need at 1 GB as of now for another disk group or some other activity. So I got a request. I want to delete one disk or I want to free up 1 GB from this used data disk group. That is the concept which we are going to see in this video. So how safely we can go ahead and do it? Okay, if you want to do this thing, you should aware how many disks are there and what is the total size of the disk group and each disk size and what is the used and free. This is my used space, used one, and this is my free. So how much I want from these disk groups, how much I want to reclaim or I want to remove. 1 GB disk is there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Disk number 4, DS4 or DG4 or DS4. This disk I want to remove it. This size is 1 GB. Even though if I remove 1 GB, my free GB is another 2 GB is left. Used is 1 GB. There should not be any harm, right? If I have only 1.5 GB total size, out of 1.5 GB, that is used 1.3 GB, only 0.2 GB left. In that case, if I want to remove any one of the disk, what is the size of the disk, right? It's very difficult to take action in that case. But in this scenario, I can able to take a call immediately or easily because I have sufficient. That's where I mentioned here, enough free space should be there. And few of them asked, I have 2 terabytes of ASM disk group, data disk group. I have 2 terabyte with almost 3 disks. Each disk in this disk group total is 2 terabyte. Each disk something it's 700 GB. This could be 300. This could be 1 terabyte. Each disk size. Now, out of 2 TB, I have only 1 TB used. Another 1 TB is free. If it is external redundancy, you can able to free up almost all. This 700 disk you can free up. 300 you can keep it. Or else you can remove this 3, I mean, delete this 300 GB and keep the 700. Because you have already used 1 TB, 1 TB is free. Out of these two, you have to take a call, or else you can take entire this 1 TB and keep it. But your this thing database services, if you want to use that, there is no use, right? There is no option to remove this 1 TB. You have either this one or this one you have to remove. For that case, that's where we need to take a call. How much the disk group size, how many disks are there, each disk size, and how much you want to utilize it, how much you mean, how much size you want to reclaim it from this 2 TB. I want 700 GB. Yes, you can do it. I want 300 GB out of 2 terabytes. Yes, you can. In that case, if it is an external redundancy, same scenario, 2 terabytes, 1 TB is used. Okay, 1 TB is used. It is a normal redundancy. It means it's almost filled up. 1 plus 1, 2 terabytes is filled up. 99% utilized, I mean, used this disk group. So you do not have any other option. If it is a 4 terabytes total, you have 4 disks in this disk group. Used is 1 TB. Used is 1 TB. In that case, normal redundancy 1 plus 1, striping and mirroring, 2 terabytes is used, and you have another 2 TB. How much you can able to take it off? You can take it off 1 TB. Or 1.6 TB, like that. Another 400 GB will be there. But here we have 1 TB disk groups, right? So it's very difficult call, but still you can able to take off this 1 TB. I'm just giving an example, guys. 1 TB, 1 TB disks, some of the clients which I saw, they are using, that's okay. Most of them may use 100 GB, 500 GB, each disk size, or 50 GB disk groups, or disks, not the disk groups. 10 GB also, couple of them are using. It depends. What is your requirement? You should have to have clear picture. If you want to remove one of the disk from this disk group, you should have this picture. How much size of the disk group, how many free disks you have, which disk you want to delete. Rebalancing will take care as per your ASM will take care of it if you are using normal redundancy or high redundancy. Even though if it is an external redundancy, if you have enough free space, redundancy, you no need to bother about it. Okay, just take it off the disk. And free MB should be greater than the space occupied by the every time. Okay, that is one requirement. Another one is this requirement. These two you need to check. And as part of this disk removal and disk additions, we have to have very good idea about this power limit. If you don't have this idea, that will take a lot of time, and also it will delay the activity. So if you want to speed up the addition or deletion of the disk from the disk group, you should aware of these power limits. Okay, how we are going to increase these power limits? It's by default value will be there, 0 or 1. Let me check quickly. Why don't we what again? So let me check. It's 1 or 0, starting with 0, but power limit by default 1 will be there. Let me show you that practically. ASM. Show parameter power. What is the value here? Power limit 1, right? By default 1. How much you can able to go it? Like it's recommended value in between 1 to 11. But if you want, if you have a huge resource in your system, you can go up to power limit 1024, 1024 power limit you can go. Beyond, no. As of now, in 19C, in between you can keep 0 power limit or 1 or 1024. But it clearly, that's where I mentioned star, it depends upon your resources. Okay, on your system resource, you can keep this value. Recommended value in between 1 to 11, you can manage. Okay, guys, now we are coming to this activity. As of now, I have my data disk group. I want to delete one of the disk. from my data disk group. So what I need to do, this group name is 08 or 01 or something. I'll show you this thing. As I said, if you want to delete a disk from the disk group, we need to check how much size of the disk groups, how many disks we are having. Okay, existing disks from my disk group. Use this query. Okay, from this blog, you can directly use this query. Okay, let me use that query. Okay, the query, okay, this setup is done from ASM, where, let me use this. Perfect. So I have DS8 is one disk group name, data underscore 008 is another disk group name. This is 20 gig and this is 1 GB disk. So out of this 20 GB, this is used disk, guys. Data is used. Okay. Out of 20 GB, 17 GB is used. The rest of them 3 GB, 3 GB is, sorry, this 17 GB is free and the 3 GB is used. This is external redundancy. So I don't have any mirroring concept. So if I want to delete my DS8, as I mentioned here, I want to delete my DS8. Where it is. DS8 is my disk group from my data. How I'm going to do it? This is the video, guys. What I'm trying to explain. Data is my user data disk group in ASM. I want to delete one of the disk from this disk group. So I have checked it. So let me paste this output here so that you can able to copy paste it. Then redundancy policies, if you want to check how you're going to check, use that for this disk group. What is the redundancy which we are using? And free and total MB, free MB. Mirroring means there is no mirroring for us. Okay, usable is 18 gig. I have 18 gig free is there. So I have sufficient storage to remove the disk from my disk group. I can take a call now. Now check this also. Same query. Mostly it's going to show you off of the information where I have checked it. So it's an external redundancy. So data free is this much. There is no mirroring concept. Same query, only specific values to check that. And now I'm going to delete or drop a disk from my DS8. If you want to delete a disk from the disk group, alter disk group name is my data, is my disk group name, and use the drop command. What is the disk name? Disk DS8. Here I need to give my disk name. What is my disk name here? DS8. I want to do it, guys. We can do it. This is a back end. If you want to do it front end, we can do it. I'll show you that as well in ASM CA command line ASM. And the rebalancing directly you can give. As of now, 1 is there. If you want to go with 3 2 rebalancing, as for I'll go with the 2 because of my resource is that much of sufficient. So parallelly I can execute that. Okay, what it's saying, this group name DS8 and the data alter disk group drop disk DS rebalance 8. Let me use this. So plus symbol, you can remove it. That is the one. And now you can cross check again whether we have this DS data 8 is there or not. Let me take this query and I can execute it. See, I have only one disk. Earlier I have DS8 and DS2. As of now, it is my instance also working properly. There is no issues with that. If you want to use this, you can use these queries. Let me delete these two. Okay. And parallelly, we can check other options also. If you have a content, if the data doesn't have much content also, if you have much content, you can use this. Most probably that above command has worked. If it is not worked, if the content is going to conflict, you can use this, including the content and other things. These two commands also extra commands. Extra alternative options or commands you can use for that. And monitoring the rebalancing, if you want to monitor as part of this, I don't think so. When you're going to do this activity parallel, you can take another session and there you can see it, or else check the ASM alert log. There you can able to figure out exactly the rebalancing background process. R balance will come into the picture and it will check it. Also, we need to check one more point is check the status. Okay, check the status of the data. Earlier, how much total MB21 is there? Now it is 21 GB I have removed, and free is as usual. 18 gig is there. It reduced to 17. See 180 to 80. It reduced to 1024 is reduced. We have deleted, right? That. So this is for reference. Whatever we did, cross check with that size the disk has been deleted or not. This will check the disk. We already checked it, right? And above we have checked it already. The disk is deleted or not. How many disks are there in your disk group? As of now, we have only one disk is there. That this one only. Okay. Let me use this. Very simple, guys. Only high level things which we need to note it down is just check free space and check the rebalancing. If you are using 500 GB, 1 terabyte related things, rebalancing will do it a bit faster. Instead of half an hour or 1 hour, it will complete quickly. Okay, rebalancing very fastly. If you are assigning rebalancing power limit 5 means parallelly 5 processes. Okay, your RBAL will initiate 5 processes to do the rebalancing in the data in between your disks inside of your disk group. If you are giving 10, rebalancing the 10 processes will come into the picture and it will rebalancing very fast. But conditions apply as and when you're going to use that power limit, you should have your sufficient resource in your system. That is only the condition. So I have, if you want to check whether the DS8 is deleted properly or not, we have to check this status of headers. Former means previously used. As of now it is free. It is not attached to any disk group. So we can use these two disk groups for future ASM related storage and other things. Okay, these two things we can able to use it. Former means not used, but previously that was used. Because just before we have deleted, right? That is the meaning of former. It is no longer part of ASM disk groups, that we call it as a format. If you want to delete this DS8 physically, you can use these commands. Use delete DS8. That will delete it. But I'm not going to delete as of now. But if you want, you can practice it in your system. But most probably, whatever the data disk we have deleted, we can use it for our physical mount points. We can do it ACFS, ASM cluster file system and other things. So as part of this video, this is done, guys. So in future, if you want any kind of knowledge related to this groups or ASM or RAC or core DBA, feel free to comment in this video so that I can take your comment and try to make a video and try to explain you those topics. That's all about this session, guys. If you like it, you can make a comment and then it will be useful for me too. Also, if it is useful, you can subscribe my channel, RACSINFOTECH. Thank you. Have a good day.